Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to Psychology Talks. And as this month started, I'm very excited to announce that my book launch is just around the corner. And that's why I have introduced this, the Algorithm of Life series. And in the entire month, and in fact, in next 2 months, we will be sharing about my book, about my book launch, and all my guests are lined up in a way that they will share their stories, and then that's how they will get to know, and you will get to know about my book and the concept of the book as well. So today is the first episode of the Algorithm of Life series, and the entire month in fact entire next 2 months we will be discussing about psychology and about the algorithm of life. So and then like after 2 days I will have another live show, and in that show I will announce the winner of my challenge, and the challenge that I ran for 2 weeks, take charge of the destiny. So stay tuned, you will get to know the three winners of the challenge. Okay, now moving on to the topic of the day. Today's topic is very interesting topic, and a lot of people actually have contacted me, and usually I get a lot of inbox, DMs, and messages, and people want to know that what is the formula of success. And I would just say that a lot of people dream of achieving success, but we see very few people really successful in their lives. So, what is the actually catch in this? Why a lot of people cannot be successful, and why people dream of having big success in their life, yet they achieve or they live a very mediocre life, as if like there is a glass ceiling above them that they cannot go over above and above them, which they actually want to achieve. So today we will discuss about what is the formula of success, and that's why I have invited my guest who has achieved in success in life through hard work, persistence, and dedication. And today he will share his life journey and his success formula with you today. Our guest today is Tauseef Hassan. He is a keynote speaker, a podcast host, and a recognized as a top 200 rising global leaders on LinkedIn. He is an accomplished leader with 13 years of experience in managing projects with telecom, banking sector, and a lot of other fields. So let's welcome Tausif. Hello, Tausif. Welcome to
Thank you so
Psychology
much.
Talks, and
Thank you so
it's a
much.
pleasure to have you. So how are you?
Um, I'm equally excited, and in fact, the moment we decided that okay, this is the date and this is the time, I was so excited. I shared this with my family first that I'm going to be speaking on Psychology Talk Show. It's one of the very famous show, and Ambreen is absolutely rocking on LinkedIn. So first of
Thank you.
all the best and congratulations for your book launch, and we would love to have a discussion about that. And so I'm really excited to share my experience as well as interact with you and the lovely audience that is there with your network and from our network, of course. So looking forward to. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for your
thank
invitation.
you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for your kind words. I've been following you on LinkedIn for quite a while, and I really find your content very inspirational and very insightful.
Thank you.
So thank you for joining today. And also thanks to our audience who've been
Yeah.
joining us from across the world. Like Andrea is a very good friend. Hi, Andrea. Thank you for
Yes.
joining. Krish is there. He's saying hi. Mohammad Yasin is
All of
there.
us are our common
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you so much. I know you, so I'm sorry to hear that you cannot hear. Maybe you can turn on the caption on the YouTube, and then
Yes.
you can just read through it. And there's like Rahim Dino is saying that you'd like to start. Definitely, then we will discuss and we'll define the success. The actual success definition as is very relative. However, we'll touch upon this. And so, Thank you, everyone from across the world who've been joining us, and keep your comments coming in. And if you have any question, feel free to ask. So, before we actually start the discussion, just tell us a little bit about yourself. That what is your career? What was your journey like? And so our audience will get to know more about you.
Definitely, it's one of the most interesting part of any discussion and show. And so, I would like to give a little bit of background. And it seems I'm live. Not sure about Umbreen. Uh, Seems to
I
be some
just put
technical
you.
issue, I
No, no, no.
guess.
It's okay. I think you are live. I just put my windows off,
Oh,
so it's just
oh,
giving
I'm
you
sorry
main
about it.
focus. No, no issues.
Oh, that's very nice. So I would like to start. So basically, I would like to give a little bit of background about where do I come from, because that is very important. It's important to know how did I start, where I come from. So because we have an international audience, so I would like to tell that I'm from India, a very small hometown in one of the state in northern India. So my upbringing was as such that my paternal family, especially my grandfather, he didn't want me to study, and he always preferred that I should go to field and work just like all the other kids in the village. And there was no one educated in my family apart from my mom. So my mom always wanted me to study, as opposed to my grandfather, who always wanted me to work in field. But my mom always said to me that always study and do something big in life. So it grew as a conflict in the family. And when I was age 7, I was not going to school. You will be surprised to know that one of my neighbor came to my home, and they scolded my grandfather that, look at this kid, he's 7, he's not even going to school. And that's how I went to school. I was enrolled into the first standard. And the irony was that till fifth standard there was no English. So uh, it was very difficult for me when I came to Delhi to adjust into everything. So what really happened, because of that conflict between my mom and my grandfather, because of my education, so my grandfather ousted us when I was age 14. He simply said that we cannot fund your education. You take care of your family. He said to my father, you take care of your family. So we were homeless. We were moneyless. We were foodless. We didn't have anything at that moment of time. I was 14 at that time, although I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. And so I think that was the first challenge that I have seen, one of the biggest challenge that I have seen in my life, because we did not expect something of this big size, or this big sort of challenge, that happened with me when I was age 14. But I think after that, when I came to Delhi in 2016, those 4 to 5 years taught me some of the best lessons of life. I knew the value of the things very closely, because I didn't have the things I wished for. I didn't have bike, I didn't have cars, I didn't have good house, I didn't have lavish food to eat. I mean, a lot of other things. So that made me realize that I have to value everything. I have to be grateful for whatever I have at the moment. So, you know, I became a minimalistic. I became a minimalist. Like, I started, doing and, living on the things that I had. And I was very grateful for everything. And I thanked Allah and Almighty that whatever I have, I live with it, but I will try and try to make sure that I improve from here. So when I came to Delhi in 2006, the only dream that I had, that I need to support my family financially. I was someone who did not speak English, and I was going to do the job in multinational organization. That was the first challenge. So when I came to Delhi in 2006, I was among the people who were very good English spoken fluently. They could able to express themselves, but I was the one who could not do that. That again, that was a big hurdle. So somehow I worked onto myself, but I struggled a lot. But in 2015, I had one of the big realization again, when my promotion was due. And one of my senior leader, he said to me, he actually said to someone, he was talking to somebody else, and he said that everything is fine, but he doesn't speak. And for a guy whose promotion is due, he's getting to hear that he cannot speak. That gave me a big jolt. and zold, I would say, and that gave me realization that I need to do something about my communication, because without communication I cannot do anything in my life. And that's where I started working on my personal transformation. And during this personal development journey, I realized that I figured out something about myself. One of the attribute that when I will help somebody, when I will empower somebody, and when my contribution will do magic for somebody, they will succeed because of my contribution. It will give me immense pleasure. And that's where I discovered that I love to coach, I love to train, I love to empower people. And during by this time, I had handled thousands and thousands of people in multinational organizations. I was a people leader. So that's how I transformed myself into coaching space. And today, after working on myself for 2 3 years, learning from international mentors, being with amazing people on social media, I was able to not only able to improve my communication, but I also became a communication coach, where I coach people on personal transformation, leadership, and communication. But at the same time, I'm also doing a job, which is a 9 to 5 job. I am working as a portfolio lead. I recently switched my job with Marsh and McLaren. So I'm also doing the 9 to 5 job. I also host a podcast, which we are about to celebrate the 50th episode, but it is paused because of certain reason. We want to reinvent the wheel, and we will come up soon. So lots of things are going in the background. And on a personal front, I have two amazing kids. I'm a husband to a superwoman, and I have my parents who lives with me because I can't leave them, and cannot have a pet because my parents don't like pets, to be honest. So I'm just about to build my studio on top of the floor that I would definitely like to show to everybody. So that's all around about me. I'm sorry, Amreen, I have taken a little bit more time about myself, but that's it.
No,
Over
no,
to you.
that's perfectly fine. I mean, what an inspirational journey you have. I mean, from the very beginning, you had fair share of your struggles, like something that you had, and then something that were taken back from you, and then of course, I feel that sometimes it's okay to lose everything, but then the
Yes.
major thing is that you need to realize that you can live without these and you can gain
Yes.
back. So and that's exactly what you did. And when we do this, the entire struggles, and when we realize what's happening to us, the same thing that you transformed into something that people look up to you, and you became the leader. And that is something, that is the beauty of these struggles, these pains that we go through. And I think everyone has some story, everyone has their share
Definitely.
of struggles. But it's just that when they realize that this is not just the pain, this is not just the sufferings, you need to work around it to make your strength. So that's
Absolutely.
amazing. I mean, thank you for sharing your amazing stories. I'm sure it's an inspiring journey for lots of people that you we that who are listening to us today from different platforms, from
Yes, sir.
LinkedIn,
There are a lot of
YouTube.
people, Andrea,
Yeah,
Mohammad Yasin, Pratima, and
yeah,
Ashish. A lot of you. Thank you so much. Lots of love to you. Thanks a lot for joining
yeah,
us. And it looks like there's a lot of
yeah.
engagement today.
Yeah,
Thank you
yeah,
so
that's
much. Thank you
that's
so
really
much.
good. It's good to see that a lot of people, and these comments make us,
Absolutely.
the conversation more lively and more engaging. So yeah, so moving on to our discussion, like
Sure.
as in the beginning I actually gave the introduction that a lot of people aspire to achieve a big success in their life, yet they are not able to achieve it. So what do you think, what's the main reason that people have some dreams, they like everyone wants to live the perfect or the dream life, but they are not able to achieve that success in the life? What is the main hindrance or obstacle?
It's undoubtedly, it's very simple thing, and it's a very common practice and common sense. But I have learned this from my mentor that common sense is never a common practice.
True.
So the problem is that what you can't measure, you can't achieve. The very basic thing that most of the people misses out is that they don't understand what do they need in their life? What is
Yeah.
it that you need from your life? Like, what is that purpose? What are your what are your small goals to achieve that purpose of your life? People don't define that. People don't understand. People, and that's one thing. If I have to say, if I have to extract one thing out of everything, I would say self-awareness.
Yeah.
So if you sail a ship without a compass, what would happen?
Mm.
It would
Yeah.
go and probably collide with a rock, and it will somewhere lost because it doesn't have a direction. Similarly, if you walk without a purpose, if you walk without a if you go without a destination, you will end up going everywhere. Or maybe you end up riding on a, climbing on a ladder, and ultimately you realize that it was a wrong ladder. Now you can't rework.
Yeah.
So if you want to become successful or feel successful, first of all, define, know your boundaries. What is it that you're looking for? And success has no limits, to be honest. You may become a millionaire, you may become a billionaire, and you still don't feel successful. But
Yeah.
for someone like me, let's take an example. If I want to become a millionaire, I have become a millionaire, so I can feel successful because I have defined that for myself. But if you have not defined anything, no matter how much money you make, you will never feel successful. So
Yeah.
I think the fundamental thing to do, and the first and foremost thing is to do become self-aware, know what you want out of your life, understand your purpose. And of course there are similar, mission and vision, a lot of other things and the values that we want to understand. Everybody talks about it, but it is very important to do things, understand things, than just talking about it. So if you know simply who you are and what you want to achieve out of your life, you chances are very high that you will always feel successful, right?
Yeah. That's
And
very true. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I go
and
ahead.
I would like to add one more thing. And in fact, I made a post on LinkedIn that was my first line, which is said by Tony Robbins, that
Mhm.
success without fulfillment is an ultimate failure.
Yeah.
So
Very true.
it doesn't really matter how much money you make, how better relationship you have, how great or gigantic, or maybe you have a great peace of mind, and or you have a great health. But if you don't feel fulfilled, that success. There are lots of billionaires who make a suicide. If you go and
Yeah. Very
understand the
true.
reason of their suicide, you would just go crazy to, and would not be able to understand that why millionaires and billionaires are committing suicide. If
True.
I was a billionaire, I would be maybe the happiest person on the planet, right? So
Yeah.
the crux of this question, I would say straightforward answer to this question is, know what success is looking for yourself. Like,
Yeah.
what is that success that you're achieving for in all
Yeah.
areas of your life?
Yeah, very,
And
very
then probably you can
brilliantly
achieve.
defined.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, and the one thing that you actually touched upon is something that, success is, as you said, that it needs to be it needs to be felt,
Yeah.
and you need to feel it, and that is how you feel fulfilled. And one thing I would just say here, that most of the people, what they do is that they follow, they want to be successful by just copying others. The dream
Absolutely.
that
They compare.
actually some, yeah, they only think that, okay, that success means to be a millionaire or something. It's not something that they want something from this. It's something that society or the parent or some other has actually
Wonderful
instilled
point.
in their mind. It's not their own goal, somebody else. And you already just said it, like,
Yeah.
it's something that you need to be aware of. What exactly do you want? It's that maybe like it's the person who actually is blindly following the herd to become successful or become a millionaire, may not want to be a millionaire. It's something that, people force them to be and that's
Absolutely.
why the dissonance happen. And that's why, as you mentioned, that a lot of successful people commit suicide,
Yeah.
because
It
they
leads to
when you
disappointment.
actually, yeah, when you actually uh, do not follow what your soul wants or what you want from deep inside, you always feel conflict, you always feel
Correct.
frustrated, you always feel anxiety in your mind. So That is the reason, people feel more lost even when they are
Yeah.
more successful.
They don't
They
have that
feel that
compass.
exactly they don't know what to do with their life. They may be like having a lot of money, they may be having a lot of friends, but deep down they feel that there is some emptiness, and
Yeah.
that emptiness comes from when you don't know what exactly you want out of life, or
Right.
when you don't know that who you are. And like, you just, when somebody say go in that field, work, and they do good in that field, because like, mastering something is not something difficult.
Yeah.
It only requires the repetition. When you keep on
Correct.
repeating one thing, you become a skilled master in that field.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then, but deep down, if you're not following what you want, if you don't know, you'll always be lost. So moving
Right.
on to the
I
other
think one
question.
of our
Yeah.
audience is saying,
Yeah.
and guys saying, become self-aware. Pratima, she's one of
Yeah.
my friend and a mentor to me. She's
Yeah.
saying that
Define
define
success.
success, please. I think I
Oh
can't
yeah.
define it for you. You have to define it for yourself because
Yes.
everybody's barometer of success is different. I mean,
Yes.
it cannot be same for two people.
Yes,
I mean,
I think
because
actually
everybody
that's
is
a very
unique.
good question, actually,
Yeah, it's a
because
very good
success
question.
is relative. Success is because, for example, as Tauseef said, that if you want to be a millionaire, and then you may not be satisfied. But the thing exact that's what exactly is, because deep down that person may not want to be a successful, may not
Absolutely.
want to be millionaire. So success doesn't mean that, to be a millionaire, to attain certain level of titles or something.
Yeah,
It's not. Success is something that what you want out of life. It could be
true.
just that, achieving a peaceful life with a very small home or a small family. That's it. Or few relationships. That's it. That could be success for
for
you.
some
Or
people for
yeah.
some people it's about going in the mountain, going deep in the
Yes.
mountain, and stay there forever. So you
Yes.
don't even know, what's
Absolutely.
if you have a Ferrari, that doesn't mean that you are successful. And if somebody
Absolutely.
has a bullock cart, that doesn't mean that they're a failure. So it's
Absolutely.
it's it's very individualistic. I mean, your
Mm.
definition of success would definitely be different than mine. And if your definition of success is as good as mine, then there is a problem with your definition.
Absolutely, yes, very true. Because everyone has their own reason, they have their own purpose, and you need to find that purpose. And that's how, when you find it out, you become successful in your life. And
Sure.
I think that the meter to find out that are you successful or not, that how uh, peaceful you are with yourself,
Right.
how happy you are with yourself, no matter whatever it is. Because I would here say that success is a journey, it's not a goal. Most of the time, people say that, like, achieving something that means that you become successful. It's the entire life is a journey. You achieve
Yes.
one thing, then you move on, you move to another step, and that's how it is. You keep moving on, and this is, and that's why it is important to actually uh, enjoy the journey of success, rather than
Amit Kumar
just
is saying,
focusing
but
on it.
how to find yourself? I think we would love to answer these
Yeah.
questions for sure.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Well, I couldn't see that
Amit
the
Kumar is saying
question.
how to find yourself. I mean,
Oh, how to, yes, now I see it. I think it's my internet is slow or something now.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. So would you like to just give answer
I mean,
to?
I would like to talk about how did I find myself
Yes.
rather than answering this question. Maybe
Absolutely.
I may not advocate about it, but I would like to give you an option, and these are different options. Probably you can choose one of them. And to be honest, I have been hearing about it because I think it's a verbal diarrhea which goes on in the internet about how to find your passion, how to find your purpose.
Yeah.
A lot of videos are being made, and then everybody's saying how to do that, how to do it. I met one interesting person in my life, and I asked him this question: how to find my passion? And he said, Tauseef, don't find your passion. Let the passion find you. I said, how to
Yes.
do that? He said, Tauseef, do whatever you love. And slowly and gradually you would understand what is it that is you like it. And when you decide, when you understand that this is something that you love to do, that's your passion, and passion will find you. So, if you want to know your true self, first of all, uh, I've learned this from one of my mentors that creativity needs peace. If you are too much distracted, let's say I'm also doing 9 to 5. A lot of other people are also doing 9 to 5 job, and if you're too much involved into that, and if you're giving so many hours, like you're just getting some time to sleep and you're not getting any time for yourself, then forget about doing it. Because if you want to know who you truly are, first of all, you need to sit in peace. And when you sit in peace, you get the time to reflect upon. Because, and once you get time to reflect upon, you retrospect. Like when you retrospect, that means you go into the past, whatever has happened with you in your life, and how did you respond to those situations in your life. Actually, it will actually lead you towards identifying your identity. So, for example, when I was when I found about my true passion, like I love empowering people. How did I do that? I remember when I did soul searching. Uh, I remember there was a time there was a guy, he was struggling with to crack the interview. So I said to him, "Let me help you." I helped him. I actually coached him how to give the interview, how to answer the questions, how to appear, how to make yourself more presentable, and he cracked that interview. And when I did soul searching, when I retrospected, I figured out that it is one of my strengths. I love to empower people, and this is my passion. So similarly, maybe if you do retrospection, you may find that you love to cook, and you love to cook, but you're not doing that job. You're doing something else. You're an IT engineer. So if you know how to cook, you can become a good chef. Maybe your
Yeah.
passion can become a profession. So if you want to know yourself, you have to know your story. Go back into the past, scribble the incidents that has happened with you. How did you react to them? And what was the outcome of those incidents? Was that pleasant? Was that, unpleasant? If that was pleasant, it means that's a sign, that's a symbol that, okay, that might be one of the thing that you love. And those small little incidents can help you to identify your passion. Now, how to identify your values? So
Yeah.
values are your underlying beliefs. Like, for example, uh, let's say somebody put you in a challenging situation, and you had two options. Either you could hit somebody, or you could, probably coach somebody. If you hit somebody simply, there might be some reasons behind it. But if you coached somebody, you handled that situation very cool and calm, it means that there's might be some different reason behind it. So you need to figure out how do you behave in different situations, and those and and how you behave in different situations, what are the reason behind that. Those are your values, because your values actually guides you to do what you are doing right now in your life. Whatever decisions are you taking in your life, good or bad, those are your values which are actually dictating those behaviors. So you have to do a lot of soul searching, but it doesn't have to be like this. You did it today and you left it. It has to be a repetition, as Embreen also said, that it require consistent and persistent effort of doing anything. It's not easy, believe me, but it is not difficult, because Ambreen has does it. I have almost done it. I am also. It's a journey. You there will never be a point in your life when you can say, okay, I'm fully aware about myself. It's a big universe. You will keep on surprising yourself. So even if you don't know about yourself, don't disappoint yourself, because nobody knows themselves perfectly.
True.
There are some hidden and things that nobody knows about themselves. It's a journey, as Amreen said, and you will keep on knowing about yourself. I'm sorry I've taken a lot of time, but I
No,
would
no,
like to
no, I should.
take,
I love
take
to hear. I
Amreen's
mean,
point of
no,
view.
no, it's brilliantly. I mean, I really love the way you explained it. It's wonderful because the way you explained it is so beautiful. Like especially when you said that the passion will find you. It's so true that sometimes the people are actually getting crazy about it. Like we need to find the passion where it is. Where is the
They
passion?
chase it.
It's
They
not like
chase it.
yeah, it's not something that you need to just dig out something, it's not like that. Let it surface through the
Yeah.
natural flow. You just
Yes.
need to be, you just need, as Tasif said, you need to connect with yourself, and then you find out. And you need the peace of mind. This is extremely important, and you may do it by meditation, or just, or not, even if you're not into too much of the meditation, just it gives yourself a time. Sit
Yes.
with yourself. Just think about yourself, of what do you want out of life. Just maybe journal your thoughts. These are the few
Yes.
things that you can do
Yes.
it, and then you just find out that basically what do you want out of life, what are your strengths, what are your weakness. And as Tausif said, that it's a journey, and we also don't know that who we are. And it's like sometimes it's surprising for us that okay, we really want this or something. um, Sometimes we feel that we are also a very stranger to ourselves, and that's
Yes.
perfectly fine, because this gives us cue to to be motivated to know or to find out about our own self. So this is definitely a wonderful journey, and we need to enjoy that journey. It's not
Right.
something that you need to chase it. You need to be really all the time thinking about it, that what do you want out of life. Just relax, be chill about your life, because life is actually meant to be lived. It's not
Yes.
about chasing your different things. Yes, there could be setbacks, there could be circumstances which are very difficult to live, but the beauty of human mind is that we can adapt to all these situations, and we
True.
can live through all these situations easily. It's just that we need to focus our thoughts in a different direction, and focus more on the positive side, and then we can start you know seeing the positivity, and we start to feel good about life, about ourselves, about other people.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right. Ambreen, would you like to give a shout out to the people who I think there's some beautiful comments
Yeah,
from
definitely. From Andrea, it's like there's some to answer find your question, and there
I think
is
she's
like
suggesting the audience,
the
which is good.
audience to do, yeah, and then yeah, definitely to enjoy the journey of
Pratima ma'am is saying,
success,
don't be in a rush, enjoy the journey of achieving success, folks. Of
achieving
course,
success.
very well explained,
Yeah,
Nadeem dear.
yeah,
Thank you so
definitely.
much.
And Dheeraj is saying that great discussion, thank you.
Thank
And
you, Dheeraj.
Andrea also said that you become the person and you need to be on the way. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very good. So yeah, wonderful comments from the audience, and
Yep.
really like the way people are actually commenting and engaging with our discussion. So, as just we're talking about, we're almost it's time, to finish the show. However, I'm actually loving the discussion, so I'll just ask one more question about
Sure, sure.
this. That as we discussed, that people need to connect with themselves, and they need to find peace with themselves. So there are some things that there are completely different habits, I would say, about a successful person or a person who is not successful. Would you shed some light on that? That what are the habits of successful person, and how to adopt these habits in a very brief, maybe like in short way, that how we
Sure.
can
I
do
think
this? Yeah.
everything revolves around the successful people. So I was reading this book of Simon Sinek, and I think it's a very famous book. Start with why. So
Yeah.
he talks about the three elements which are very important in life if you want to become a successful, and the three habits. So one is clarity. So
Yeah.
successful people uh, spend most of their time understanding things, seeking clarity, and they do not move until the time they understand things properly. Because once you understand one thing, the job is done. Because you'll be able
Yeah.
to easily navigate and execute. The second element he talked about was consistency. So now, when you understand things, you have the proper plan, purpose, goals. Now it's a time to take action and be consistent on that. Because It doesn't really matter what beautiful plan you have, how well you have curated it, but if you don't, as Robin Sharma says, that ideation without execution is a mere delusion. So if you don't take action and be consistent upon it, the potential will not be able to convert into value. And the last element he talked about was the most important thing is discipline.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, at times you might feel like that. Let's say, for example, you go to the gym, right? And you have a goal to build the muscles. Let's say you have the goal to build the six packs, six abs, but you can't hire somebody else to do the exercise on your behalf. Sometimes you may feel like, okay, I think I'll go to the gym next day. I don't feel like going to the gym today. Let's rest. Then it would not happen. You need discipline, because discipline is all about, in most of the cases, that you're doing it even if you feel the friction, even if you feel that you're not loving to do it. So discipline is, as Mike Tyson said, that discipline is not about doing something that you always love. Discipline is
Yeah.
about doing something that you hate to do, but you are doing it because you know that it is important for your health, wealth,
Yeah.
relationship, anything. So these three elements, uh, the first one is clarity. I would like to recap in a brief. Second one is consistency, and the third one is discipline. And I live by this. Every time I lose a track of anything, I always remind this to myself, that am I seeking clarity? Am I being consistent? And if I'm not, I say to myself, I failed. I need to restart. I need to reboot. Am I being disciplined about it? So, if I neglect any one of areas of my life for more than a month, I think it's a time to revisit. So I think,
Yeah, very, very well
hopefully this answers the
explained.
questions.
No, yeah, very, very well explained. Because usually what happens is that habits, like bad habits, are formed very easily because
Right.
it's an autonomous process, and people usually, let's say, wake up late, staying up late, eating
Hmm.
junk or something, or
Yeah.
and the thing is that, and that's what how the life goes out of discipline. And as you said very beautifully, like the clarity, consistency, and discipline. If you have these elements in your life will be on a path to become successful. So
Yeah.
that's, I mean, you explained it so amazingly. So now our time is almost finished. So, what one advice actually would you give to our audience today to become
I've
successful?
been, yeah, it's one of my favorite question. And I always say this, that believe in yourself. It sounds very simple, but it's an epidemic, especially in India. I'm not sure about the world at large, but in India, a lot of people don't follow their heart because they feel that they 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 feel that it's a big risk, and maybe they're involved in 9 to 5. They cannot run on the risk of losing their job. There can be several other reasons, and there can be a lot of impediments to to follow their hearts. So I think they fail to believe in themselves.
Yeah,
When we were kid, we always believed in ourselves. We
yeah,
did what we wanted to do. When we wanted to ride and learn how to ride a bicycle, we did. When we wished to learn how to swim, we did. We
yeah,
When we wished to learn how to ride a car, we did. And we we sold to everyone, right? We
yeah,
Because we believed in ourselves. But slowly and gradually, because of the societal conditioning, because of too much conformity, you know ended up becoming someone else, and we are still becoming someone else, and we lost our identity. So
true.
we stopped believing in ourselves ultimately. So my ultimate advice to everybody, that please come back in your zone, understand who you are, and start believing in yourself. You can achieve anything in your life if you set your mind to it.
Yes, yes, definitely. Believing in oneself is the, I think, ultimate power, or I would say the ultimate gift one could give to
Yes,
oneself.
I think
Because
Andrea is
when
showing it is the same here in Europe as well.
yeah,
Thanks,
yes,
Andrea.
yes. I think it's the is
It's a
the
worldwide
it's
epidemic.
worldwide. Yes, yes, definitely, definitely. It's
Yeah.
basically worldwide phenomenon that people are scared to actually believe in themselves because, as you mentioned, the societal pressure, the conditioning that and like as a kid. we are, because there is no boundaries set in our mind
Yeah,
that we cannot do that, we
we have
actually
freedom of
end up
thoughts.
doing that. Yes,
Yeah.
we end up doing that. And actually, I was reading a book in that it was written that by 7, till the age of 7 year,
Hmm.
the kid doesn't, like, the a person doesn't have this ability of creative thinking. And
Yeah.
that's how, when the, like, as Socrates also said that, give me a child till 7, and then I give you a man. So, like, till
Oh,
the age of 7, like,
we
the
can
the
mold
kid is
somebody,
actually,
shape somebody.
yes, exactly, they're doing what they want to do. There is no critical reasoning required to actually question that whether they can do it or no. So that's how it is, like, you have the power of critical thinking to actually analyze different options, not to
Right.
criticize yourself or to block
Hmm.
your ways. So just be in yourself. That's
Yeah, I think it's a very
wonderful.
scientific way of explaining things because we don't have any filters to reject the,
Yes,
ideas. We accept it as it is. And yeah, I think
absolutely,
very well explained,
absolutely.
Brain.
Thank you. So, before we actually close the show, what is tell our audience that how they can reach out to you, maybe like your email address, or is there any, like, website or something? So maybe you can
Yes.
put it in
So
the
I
chat. I'll
think
just put it in the.
anybody who's connected with Umbreen is should be connected with me because we interact with each other very often, and we love and enjoy to share our experience on each other's content. I'm
Yeah.
available on Instagram, available on LinkedIn, on Facebook. Just type my name, and in fact, if you type my name on the Google, it will give you the links of all the social media handles that I have. But preferably, I'm more on LinkedIn and Instagram. You can reach out to me. Would love to connect with you and guide you if you need any help and support. And once again, thanks to the lovely audience and the people who joined from my network and Umbreen's network. And final thanks to Umbreen for being so humble and inviting me and giving me this opportunity to share my experience on this talk show.
Thank you so much for actually joining. It is an absolute pleasure, basically, and I'm sure audience have learned a lot from your experience, from your thoughts, and I actually enjoyed the show thoroughly. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. I really appreciate
Okay.
it.
And thanks to our audience who joined, and for your lovely comments, and to keep our conversation more lively and engaging. So,
Absolutely.
thank you, everyone, and bye bye, and have a great day,
Bye,
great rest of the
everyone.
day. Bye bye.